Welcome to a tour of the Greater Baltimore region, hosted by the Economic Alliance of Greater Baltimore, otherwise known as EAGB. I am Michele Whelley, President and CEO of EAGB, and I'm privileged to partner with the business, government, and economic development leaders of our 7 jurisdictions: Anne Arundel, Howard, Carroll, Cecil, Harford, and Baltimore counties, and of course, the heart of the region, Baltimore City. Collectively, we bring together the business, public, academic, and nonprofit communities to market the economic development assets of this region. Our goal is to elevate Greater Baltimore as a location of choice for talent, for investment, and for businesses. EAGB's marketing platform embraces the overused phrase, "the whole is greater than the sum of the parts." The collective assets of our jurisdictions paint a picture of a region with an economy based on growth industry sectors that maximize Greater Baltimore's innovation, talent, workforce, and quality of life attributes that have produced the top rankings in many economic development categories. Without a doubt, Greater Baltimore has been impacted by the challenges of an almost 2-year-long global pandemic. We're no different than many other places across the country, in fact, throughout the world. Additionally, there's an increasing awareness that socioeconomic and racial inequities have significantly limited the ability of many of the region's residents, to participate in the economic opportunities such an asset-rich region presents, particularly in Baltimore City. The ability to effectively market our assets and achieve our goals requires that economic development programs include a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusivity. Incorporating DEI as standard operating procedures is a necessity if the recovery from the pandemic is to result in a sustainable, equitable, and inclusive economy throughout the region. As an integral part of our marketing platform, EAGB will continue to shine a light on the many public and private programs, initiatives, and organizations that have universally embraced this philosophy. In a minute, you'll hear from the elected leaders of our 7 jurisdictions. Again, they are Anne Arundel, Carroll, Cecil, Harford, Howard, and Baltimore counties, and Baltimore City. Each of these leaders will talk briefly about the economic focus of their jurisdiction, their successes, and what they see as the future of economic development in their jurisdiction, as well as for the region as a whole. A bit later in the program, you will hear from Dr. Jay Perman, Chancellor of the University System of Maryland, who will talk about the richness of higher education in the region and the importance of this system of higher education to producing the workforce needed to support our growth industry sectors. He'll be followed by subject matter experts across a wide array of these industries and initiatives. Finally, Brian Pieninck, CEO of CareFirst BlueCross BlueShield and EAGB's board chair, will close out the program. He will have with him a very special guest. So please stay tuned, sit back, and enjoy the next 50 minutes or so as we tour Greater Baltimore. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Anne Arundel County Executive Stuart Pittman, and it's great to be addressing the whole Baltimore region and the business community here. I feel like we have great partners throughout the region. I have great relationships with the other county executives in the region and the mayor, and I love this organization and all that we do. So thank you for being here. It's a great time, I think. I'm a very optimistic person, but I really am convinced that coming out of this pandemic, the work that we've done to fill some of the holes in our safety net and uplift some of our residents and address issues we should have addressed long ago has been really important. But we've come out of this in our county, and I think most of the region, with local government in good fiscal health. So we actually have increased funds in our rainy day fund. We've kept our taxes, property and income tax, the lowest in Central Maryland, the lowest of all the big 8 counties, and we're proud of that, and we intend to keep it that way. But we've also planned for the future. In May of this year, we passed Plan 2040, which is the county's general development plan. And as you all know, land use is controversial. There are those who say that no development should happen. We should keep everything the way it is. And most of us understand that for our economy to thrive, it must grow. And so what we've done in the county is we've shifted the focus to transit-oriented development, much more smart growth. We're not afraid of the word density anymore. mixed use, and particularly affordable housing. So we're investing some of our federal funds in affordable housing, creating a housing trust fund, doing that. And we've identified areas where we have the train stations where we know that development will be really popping in the coming years. So that would be Glen Burnie and the corridor up to the Cromwell Station, end of the light rail coming down from Baltimore City, where we expect to have a lot of mixed use development. The Odenton community and the parking garage there will be built. We've got an agreement to do that, as well as Laurel, where the racetrack will be rebuilt and the train station there will be revitalized. So violent crime is down in our county while it's up across the state and the country, as are opioid overdoses and deaths. So we're very proud of that. Our police department does a fantastic job here, and we've invested in them. We've also created a resilience authority. We have 520 some miles of coast, and the water is rising. And the first project of our resilience authority will be the raising of City Dock and creating a beautiful public space there. I and Mayor Buckley are both very fond of electric ferries, and we expect to have a fleet of them that will connect Baltimore City with Annapolis and areas all across the Bay. And we think that's going to be an economic driver as well. And then in terms of roads and state highways, we expect major investment. We all expect investment from the federal government, but of the top 10 scoring transportation projects in the state of Maryland right now, 6 of them are Anne Arundel County projects. So our partner with SHA is strong, and we're investing our county resources in those state roads as well. We are about to create Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park. The state of Maryland is transferring the land, the 530 acres at the heart of our county that was Crownsville Hospital, to the county. And we're pulling stakeholders together to create a park there, as well as some mental health agencies will be there, and addiction treatment agencies that are already there will continue. And it's going to be a real center for healing in the middle of Anne Arundel County. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is, I think what most businesses understand is the best economic driver of all, which is a great school system. And what we've done is we've created a commission to address the opportunity gap in our county. And the goal that we've set as a county is to increase the percentage of our young kids that are ready for kindergarten, assessed as ready, from the current 46% to 76% by the year 2026. And we believe that we can do that with the work that's going on at the state level and the federal level and the county, to ensure that all of our children get a great education and all of our businesses can find the employees that they need to move into the future. So it's a great time to be a county executive, and I'm thrilled to be part of this organization.
Hi, I'm Ed Rothstein, President of Carroll County Commission. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to highlight a few activities that are happening here in Carroll County and its importance in the region. This year has been a great year for Carroll County, despite the challenges of the pandemic. Carroll County achieved success with several initiatives. We continue to mitigate COVID-19 and support our residents, communities, and small businesses, along with our tourism industry. Our strong fiscal management provided a positive outlook for our county. We also continue to see robust economic development and growth, along with strong employment recovery. Many businesses continue to grow and expand, including Penguin Random House, Knorr Brake, Ridge Engineering, and Avapco. Also, new businesses such as 310 Tempering chose Carroll County for a Mid-Atlantic location. This is all a testament to the strength of Carroll County, and we are all about community. And I'm so proud of how we work together and help each other out. We responded very quickly at the beginning and throughout the pandemic to provide communications, resources, and financial assistance to our citizens, small businesses, nonprofits, our hotels and motels, along with our restaurants. We awarded over $8.2 million in small business assistance. Recently, we learned that the county maintained our AAA credit rating from all 3 major credit rating agencies. Carroll County also boasts a rich agricultural heritage, which remains a strong industry and an economic driver. Farming and ag business are woven into every aspect within our county. Agriculture creates beautiful open spaces and sustains the county's cherished rural character and scenic qualities. We celebrate our ag preservation program as the most successful in Maryland and within the top 5 in our country. Most recently, we have preserved over 75,000 acres with the goal to get to 100,000 acres of preserved land. Carroll County Public Schools continue to rank as one of the top performing schools in Maryland and has the highest graduation rate and the lowest dropout rate. Our students consistently score above the state and national averages on standardized student assessments. Carroll is a very special place in the Greater Baltimore region, offering the best of everything for growing families. Carroll's future is bright. We will strive to maintain our superb quality of life by planning for long term. We are using the federal funding to invest in our infrastructure, including utilities and broadband. This quality of life, balanced by a commitment to preserving rural landscapes with targeted commercial and industrial growth, will provide for a thriving county. Carroll County continues to be a conscious choice for growing firms in the region because of the highly dedicated and productive workforce. Like the rest of Greater Baltimore region, we have a highly educated workforce and enjoy many renowned educational institutions that produce our bright students and again, that highly skilled future workforce. Carroll County continuously strives to maintain its excellent quality of life for our communities. We build on our current success by making decisions to help provide safe communities, excellent schools, affordable housing, quality healthcare, transportation networks, and meaningful living wage jobs. We recognize the value of the Greater Baltimore region's strength and are proud to partner with our jurisdictions to promote and improve the region. Our future success is directly connected to partnerships, alliances with our regional partners. Together, we will achieve economic growth, job creation, improved workforce development, more efficient transportation, and excellent quality of life for all. In the near term, we work with our residents, communities, and businesses in recovering from the pandemic. Everything we do is for the betterment of our community. We plan to maximize the federal and state infrastructure investments to improve our infrastructure, transportation, and communication networks. Ultimately, more than $71 million will be invested in the community. In closing, we have a great state, a great Greater Baltimore region, one of the best in our country. I know we will continue to work together to meet the challenges ahead with a strategic focus on making the best use of resources and opportunities presented to us. As I always close, life is good, and look forward to seeing all of you here in Carroll County.
Hi, this is Cecil County Executive Danielle Hornberger, and it's been a very busy year for Cecil County. So I'm excited to share with you some of our amazing developments that have happened over this past year. First, we had our inaugural Maryland 5-star, which is one of only 2 5-star level equestrian eventing competitions in the entire country. There are 7 worldwide. Really, really exciting. We had over 20,000 people here in Cecil County from around the world, and we look to just build upon this and have more in years to come. So very exciting. We also had Great Wolf Lodge, the largest Great Wolf Lodge in the entire United States, to break ground in Perryville. So that's going to have over 700 rooms, and we're really just can't wait until that opens in 2023. I believe it's the fall of 2023. So stay tuned with that if you have any little ones and you want to come check out a new Great Wolf Lodge. Northrop Grumman is you know, a company that's been here for a long time, and we're super happy to have them here, but we're even more happier that they chose to expand in Cecil County just recently, and they broke ground on their new Hypersonic Center of Excellence. So that's really cool. We're talking rockets. We're very excited that they are continuing, you know, their support in Cecil County, and we support them as well. Continuing on with the science-focused companies, Clean Nano is a company located here in Perryville. It's Clean Nano Medicine, and it's a biopharmaceutical company that is expanding as well. They're opening a new manufacturing facility in Elkton, and Clean is doing some really cool science, working towards generating cures for ALS, Parkinson's, and multiple sclerosis. So really, like I said, very cool science. In Port Deposit, the long-awaited transfer of Bainbridge to the private sector is almost complete. We actually are signing a contract today, and this has been a long time coming. A lot of people, you know, have heard of BDC or Bainbridge. The Bainbridge Development Corporation has been working diligently over the past 20 years to transform this former naval base to a state-of-the-art business park. So we're really happy to return this land to the tax rolls and create, you know, a vibrant business center that creates jobs and contributes to the economic well-being of Cecil County. That was a tough one because that had some contaminated land, and the state, the Navy, and even our congressman helped to clean all that up. And so I'm proud of both the public and private partners who work to make this a reality. And we have Belvedere Road, which is going to be where the new I-95 interchange will come in. So that is expected to break ground in 2022. We're really, really excited to have another highway coming into Cecil County to help out with taking some of these trucks off of our local roads. And maybe last but not least, I'd like to speak for a moment about the opioid epidemic, which we're all struggling with together. Cecil's been, you know, fighting the good fight like a lot of other counties, you know, for a long time. And I'm really proud that we've come up with a lot of innovative programs to combat, you know, opioid addiction and this problem. One of our most recent is the Prevention and Overdose Response and Trauma Support Services Team, which is also known as our PORTS team. And that's a first responder-led project. It's using a multidisciplinary team to direct a coordinated response to overdoses in the region. So if you've heard of the Maryland Integrated Health Model, we are the first to utilize that specifically for the drug and opioid epidemic. So we're really excited to see, you know, how we can help our community with this new team. And, you know, in closing, I just want to say it's been one of the goals of my administration to make sure that we diversify and have, you know, a lot of different businesses in our county, and that our county is growing thoughtfully, but also, you know, still a wonderful place for the residents to live and call home, and we're still growing. So, you know, that's just a snapshot of what we've been doing here in Cecil County for the past year. And I really appreciate everybody listening, and hope to see you in Cecil County soon.
Hi, this is County Executive Barry Glassman from Harford County. I'm pleased to report that Harford County, one of Maryland's largest 8 jurisdictions, has weathered the COVID storm fairly well as we begin to work our way through the backside of this pandemic. Our local economy has been resilient. I think that's the best word to describe the current posture in the county. We have seen revenue growth both in our property tax and our income tax projections for the upcoming year. And in fact, we have reported the largest surplus of $58 million in the county's history. We continue to see strength in our e-commerce and distribution permits in the Route 40 corridor in our Perryman distribution area. In addition to that, Aberdeen Proving Ground, which has been our defense partner for over 100 years, continues to see growth in its mission set. We have about 160 defense contractors still working closely with Aberdeen Proving Ground, and they have weathered the pandemic as well and are currently applying and getting permitted for additional awards there at Aberdeen Proving Ground. In addition to that, we continue to spotlight our agricultural business development programs in Harford County. Agriculture is still one of our largest sectors. We've added the Grove at the Harford County Agricultural Center, which is basically an incubator for startup farmers trying to develop, whether it's certain products, crafts, and so forth, related to their agricultural background, so they can rent a stall, a small commercial spot there at the Grove, and we facilitated them starting up their businesses without moving directly to a storefront or a larger expenditure. And so we continue to develop that area as well. We are happy to report on the transit side, our local transit system, Link, Harford Link, was again awarded the best transit system in the state of Maryland. And I'm proud that its director was also really recognized as the top manager, the top transit manager in the nation. So we continue to develop our transit system, which is vital to getting folks to and from our employment centers to medical treatment as well. We have been successful using our digital platforms to award over about $26.5 million in grants to more than 4,000 businesses to help them move beyond the pandemic and to really provide strong revenue projections for them as they come out of the pandemic, as well as local government. And so we continue to see our vacancy rate stay stable. Our unemployment rate is still one of the lowest in the region. And so we feel very strongly positioned for the upcoming quarter and second quarter. Real estate, as with many of my neighboring jurisdictions, remains very strong and a hot market in the residential area of the county. So we feel good about where we're positioned. We think the next year will provide some additional opportunities. Like most of our neighboring jurisdictions, the labor market is very competitive. We continue to work with all our partners to make sure we get vocational training to get a skilled workforce to them to help them succeed as well. So thank you for your support of Harford County. I look forward to giving you an update maybe in the next quarter or the beginning of the next year. Thanks so much for having me.
I've been proud of what we've accomplished together in Howard County, Maryland. We have a top-rated school system and continued that investment. We're regional leaders in protecting our environment, built inclusive and accessible infrastructure, grown even more innovative, and advanced the health for our residents of all ages and abilities. This year, Howard County was one of only 4 communities in our nation to win the prestigious Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Culture of Health Prize for our commitment to the well-being and improved life outcomes of our residents. We have actually seen declines in most major crime categories in recent years and continue to be considered one of the safest places in our nation. Our current capital budget includes nearly $60 million to support the construction of more schools, including a new high school, which when completed will be the first new high school constructed in Howard County since 2005. Throughout the pandemic, we provided more than $20 million in grants to nearly 2,000 local businesses and saved many. Expanding our commitment to emerging entrepreneurs and small businesses, we recently completed our inaugural HOCO Hire Entrepreneur Accelerator Program in partnership with M&T Bank and our Economic Development Authority. The 25 entrepreneurs who completed the 10-week curriculum received $5,000 in seed money, and all in the class participated in a pitch competition, with the top 3 winners earning an additional $21,000. In Howard County, we're focused on workforce housing and home ownership. During the last year, we're one of the most efficient jurisdictions in our nation at getting rental and mortgage assistance into the hands of our residents in need. We have served nearly 1,800 households and distributed more than $14 million in rental and mortgage relief funding for those facing housing insecurity. In the coming months and years, we will build upon that to expand housing opportunities for workers of all abilities and a full spectrum of housing affordability. We recently opened Blandair Regional Park's Play for All playground, intentionally designed for our children with disabilities, and unveiled 2 more inclusive playgrounds in Savage and Centennial Parks. We broke ground on America's largest solar power purchase agreement. This agreement will generate a monumental 44 million kilowatt hours a year. This will cover more than 50% of the county's energy usage and is the equivalent of taking nearly 7,000 cars off the road. Our progress as a regional and national leader has been a collaborative effort. We have worked together as a community during one of the most challenging periods in our world's history. We will continue to efficiently, effectively, and respectfully serve the residents, businesses, and visitors of Howard County, Maryland. Expect us to innovatively expand opportunity and foster the best quality of life for all who live, work, or visit.
Hey everyone, it's Baltimore County Executive Johnny Olszewski, and I appreciate the opportunity to share an update on the incredible work that we're doing in Baltimore County. We are so proud of the ways that we've proven that transformative change is possible here. And 2021 represents the 3rd year in a row that we've invested record funds in education. This year's county budget had the largest maintenance of effort increase in the county's history. And it's funding that represents an investment in our people and our infrastructure. We're hiring more teachers, support personnel, and we're paying them what they deserve. And we're investing in our school infrastructure so our children have a safe and supportive learning environment. We're doing things that have never been done before in Baltimore County, like launching the Towson Loop earlier this year, the county's first ever fixed route transit service. And the Loop represents just the first step in building a better transportation network here. We look forward to replicating this service in communities around Baltimore County. On top of that, we've set a goal to reach 100% renewable energy in Baltimore County by 2026, having already exceeded the past administration's goals. And thanks to our new investments in solar, we're well on our way. Beyond that, we continue to provide the essential services people count on in government: record funding for parks and open space, hiring more code enforcement inspectors, and bringing back bulk trash pickup in early 2022. We've accomplished all of this while responding to an unprecedented pandemic, setting up the gold standard for vaccination operations in the state, providing nearly 20 million meals, and helping over 1,000 families stay in their homes. Moving forward, we have a solid foundation upon which to build. And we know that we have an opportunity to build a recovery that works for everyone, a once-in-a-generation chance to not just rebuild our communities, but to aspire where we always should have been, To accomplish that, we're making unprecedented investments in our business community, schools, and neighborhoods across Baltimore County. I think a lot about the county we're building for future generations. And Baltimore County is an incredible place to live with safe neighborhoods, a strong economy, and great schools. I remain fully committed to building a county where sustainability and equity are our core values, and our residents feel engaged and empowered in the work of their government. What's most exciting is that we're proving it's possible. We're seeing what local government can do when we set a bold vision and work with communities to make progress. Time and again, we've proven that transformative change is possible. And we look forward to continuing our work with communities across Baltimore County, including all of you. So I hope you stay engaged, and I encourage you to please stay in touch as we continue our progress together.
Hey everyone, this is Mayor Brandon Scott. Over the past year, we have made great strides together. Baltimore has come together to battle and overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. Our grit and resilience has been recognized yet again on the national stage for how we handle COVID-19. And we are laying the groundwork for a better future and taking action now to aid Baltimoreans from all over our city. In July, I announced our comprehensive violence prevention strategy to tackle gun violence in this epidemic in Baltimore. Much of that work has already begun. I created the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement to work directly with partner agencies, neighborhood associations, businesses, and all stakeholders to address the levels of gun violence in our city. Led efforts to establish a citywide 911 call diversion program to take appropriate behavioral health calls away from our police and fire and into the hands of professionals. I inaugurated the city's trauma-informed care task force, started the implementation of the group violence reduction strategy, focusing in on those who are most at risk to commit or be the victim of gun violence in Baltimore, reestablished the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council with our state partners, and established a partnership with Everytown for Gun Safety to create a gun trafficking portal and create the Firearms Intel Unit to hold gun traffickers accountable. And with Baltimore's first ever comprehensive violence prevention plan and our recent announcement of $50 million in ARPA funding to the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement, I am committed to addressing gun violence for the deep public health crisis that it is. But violence does not exist in a vacuum. Earlier this fall, we released Baltimore Together, our 5-year strategic economic development plan, a platform for inclusive prosperity. We are now investing millions of dollars to support small business growth and recovery with a focus on our minority small business community. We are using ARPA dollars to make an unprecedented investment into the economic potential of our residents and small businesses. But Baltimore's problems cannot be fixed overnight. This is work that we have to remain committed to for the long haul. My administration and I have been continuously working to reimagine the way that Baltimore operates. We are committed to achieving equitable and effective solutions to our city's problem through a comprehensive strategy. Every single issue in our city is interconnected in one way or another. To achieve our shared vision for Baltimore, we have to have high quality recreation opportunities for our young people, families, and older adults so that they can foster physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy communities, ensure that our young people, the future of Baltimore, have the resources they need to live productive and fulfilling lives, create a Baltimore that welcomes businesses that gives back to the community and provide meaningful employment for our residents, prioritize the safety of all of our residents, and center our communities in everything that we do, create clean and healthy communities, and have a city government that is transparent, accountable, and that residents can trust and believe in. We have to address each and every one of these areas to achieve our vision of a stronger, more resilient, and more equitable Baltimore. That is what success looks like for our city. And together, I have no doubt that we will be successful. Thank you.
On behalf of Maryland Higher Education, I couldn't be happier to welcome you to the Greater Baltimore region. I'm Jay Perman, Chancellor of the University System of Maryland. Of the system's 12 nationally ranked public universities, 5 have a home right here in Greater Baltimore. All told, there are 15 four-year colleges and universities in the region. including 10 independent colleges, the U.S. Naval Academy, and 2 historically Black institutions. They're joined by 7 community colleges across Greater Baltimore. Together, we make this region one of the country's most educated, most innovative, most entrepreneurial, and most successful. In fact, Maryland higher education is central to the rankings we routinely hang our hat on. Maryland ranks 2nd nationwide in education attainment and quality, 2nd in graduate and professional degrees, 3rd in bachelor's degrees, 2nd in household income, 1st in science and technology workforce, 2nd in R&D funding and human capital investment, 4th in overall science and tech innovation. Greater Baltimore's economy and quality of life are the envy of other regions. And that's because we value higher education. Our leaders invest in higher education. Business and industry collaborate with higher education. Federal agencies and labs choose Maryland higher education. Maryland universities produce more than $4 billion of research every year, funded by agencies in our own backyard, NIH, NSF, DOD. With the Applied Physics Lab, Johns Hopkins University has the largest university-affiliated research center in the country. Moreover, the state's public university system boasts 3 research parks that support 300 tenants and 10,000 jobs. We've launched more than 1,000 startups in under 10 years. We invest in our ideas, our people, our technologies and companies, and we enrich the innovation ecosystem that Maryland has been building for decades. But perhaps our greatest contribution to Greater Baltimore's economic strength is the talent we nurture. The region's colleges and universities educate nearly 300,000 students a year, coming from across Maryland, around the country, and throughout the world. And they stay in Maryland after graduation because we give them so much to stay for. Greater Baltimore boasts 2 of the nation's best academic medical centers, and our biotech corridor ranks 5th in U.S. life sciences clusters. Greater Baltimore leads in cybersecurity, and 9 of the region's colleges and universities are listed as centers of academic excellence in cyber defense. Greater Baltimore is in the U.S. top 3 for 6 IT job categories, and we're ground zero for the emerging quantum computing sector. Plus, Maryland's entire education community works together to strengthen the academic pipeline from preschool through grad school. We're working with elementary and secondary schools to make sure students are prepared for college-level work. We're improving the transfer process for community college students who want a 4-year degree. We're expanding the credentials we offer for those who don't want or need a degree at all, those who want to reskill or upskill and advance in high-wage jobs. And all of this is undertaken with the state and with our private sector partners. Together, we're laser focused on producing a highly educated, highly skilled, nimble workforce, fully ready for the growing industries that drive the region's economy, because that's central not only to the region's prosperity, but to the social mobility that gives everyone a chance and lifts everyone up. It's now a pleasure to turn you over to some people who know a lot about advancing economic development right here in Greater Baltimore.
Hi, I'm Jake Hsu, and I'm the CEO of Catalyte. We're a technology company headquartered in Baltimore that's using AI and machine learning to discover people with extraordinary potential hidden in plain sight. We're using technology to unleash untapped human potential, and we're turning people from all walks of life into extraordinary software engineers. We don't care what you did before. Your past doesn't determine your future at Catalyte. Doesn't matter where you went to school or if you went to school. Right? It doesn't matter what job you had before. You could have been a barista, you could have been working in fast food, you could have been a security guard, or you could have been a doctor or a PhD. What matters is that you have the ability and the innate potential to be successful in an engineering career. Our business has been headquartered in Baltimore. We actually founded and started the company here. And we started the company because of Baltimore. This is a city where the people are determined. They have grit. This is a city where the people choose to be here. They're open, they're friendly, they're candid, they're frank. There's no pretension. What you see is what you get. And that's what makes people of Baltimore a really great proving ground for us to be able to show that extraordinary potential, that extraordinary talent that we need for the future is hidden in plain sight and can come from anywhere. Baltimore is very much a part of our DNA. It's a big reason why we're successful today. And we're taking all the things that we learned in Baltimore over the last 20 years and we're expanding nationally now. We're a business that is very quickly approaching 100 million in revenue. And that's really grown because of the DNA that's of Baltimore that's woven throughout the company. The people of Baltimore have a real sense of community and they're determined to improve and grow their communities. And that's a big part of what our entire mission is about. We love Baltimore. We're going to be here regardless of how successful we're never leaving this place because it's an important part of who Catalyte is. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Bruce LeCorwick, and I'm the president and CEO of Galen Robotics. And we have a very interesting story. In fact, we are one of the few companies that have actually moved here from Silicon Valley. And the reason for that is back in 2016, we were approached by Johns Hopkins Technical Venture Labs, and they wanted to give us a proposal to take on a surgical robot coming out of Hopkins Robotics Lab. The inventor, very famous inventor, Dr. Russell Taylor, has put his input on this, and they invited us to take a license, and we moved forward. What happened from that point on is we actually decided to stay in California. We had no plans of moving here until the state of Maryland Department of Commerce and the Baltimore Development Corp approached us with a proposal to move the company. We kind of rolled our eyes and said, yeah, right. But when we looked at the proposal and we came to visit for real, we said, let's do it. We packed up our families, the 10 of us, the executive team, we moved here. And unfortunate, we moved in 2 months prior to COVID. So during the COVID period is when we got to learn about Baltimore, but more importantly, we learned about the state. And across the board, my execs have been really pleased and happy to be here. We had a specific problem we thought we were going to hit, which was talent. Could we find the people? Can we get them here to put a surgical robot on the market, which is behind me, as you can see, because this is a very highly precision, highly delicate robot that actually helps surgeons with their tools, very delicate operations to be more accurate and have more precision. So that said, we moved into a city garage to start with 3,000 square feet with 10 people. Since then, we moved to the Wycomico building. We're now at 5,000, and then now we are at 11,000 square feet. And we will probably be moving into another 11,000 for 22,000 probably in the next 6 months. So we've gone from 10 employees to 44 at this juncture. We're actually quite rapidly growing. Our goal was to hit 50 employees by the end of this year. We will probably be over 100 by the end of next year. So all done and said, we are moving forward. We think Baltimore is great. The talent pool is great. of the fact that everything is close, unlike in California where everything is a long drive. We're finding the benefits of living here extremely exciting. So with all that said, I can speak for the company, I can speak for the 10 execs that, every one of us have absolutely zero regrets being here. We think that being here has been one of the greatest things that we've done in my career, just to get out of California for the past 30 years. At the same time, we are exploring everything, which would be the newest restaurant or going to the shore or doing anything like that. And so we are extremely positive being here, and we just love it. So thanks.
Hi, my name is Ellington West. I am the CEO and co-founder of Sonavi Labs. Sonavi Labs is a medical device and software company that is harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to transform the way we detect, diagnose, and manage respiratory diseases. The first device that we are bringing to market is Felix. I want you to think of Felix like a stethoscope, in that you would place it right on your chest, and that Felix will listen to the sounds of your lungs, analyze those sounds, and then share them with care teams anywhere in the world. We see this as an excellent tool for telehealth, as well as just diagnostic point of care. We were so intentional about locating our headquarters right here in Baltimore for a couple of reasons. The first is that we are a Johns Hopkins spinout. So it made sense to be close to the lab, to be close to the team that did so much foundational work to get us exactly where we are. In fact, our Chief Innovation Officer is the former Dean of Hopkins Engineering. So it was very fitting for us to stay local. The second reason is really all of the talent and the diversity that's here. We have lab space, we have hospital systems to partner with, and we have so much talent coming out of universities like Hopkins, like UMBC, like Towson, that really the answer is, why not Baltimore? So we are so excited to not only grow here in the city, but to watch the city grow around us. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you around town.
Hello, I'm David Wilson, president of Morgan State University here in Baltimore City. I'm currently in my 12th year as president here at Morgan. For those of you who might not know a great deal about Morgan, Morgan is a very high research university as designated by the Carnegie Corporation. Our goal over the next 10 years is to become a very high intensity research institution, or in the Carnegie classification vernacular, an R1 research institution. There are only two other R1 research institutions in our state, Johns Hopkins, private, and the University of Maryland College Park, and Morgan is aiming to be the third very high research intensity institution. We have added a number of unique high demand degree programs here at Morgan over the last few years, programs in cloud computing, embedded systems, mechatronics engineering, programs in essence that align with the work of the future and the future of work. But one of the things we are also very excited about is the number of research centers that we have brought into existence here at Morgan. We have a research center here in urban health equity because COVID-19 has laid bare all of the inequity in public health in our city and indeed in many marginalized African-American and Latinx communities. And so through our center, that would be focused exclusively on looking at research in the space of equity in public health. We want to produce the kind of evidence-based reports and outcomes that will enable lawmakers, corporate entities, and other possible individuals in leadership spaces to know what to do with on Monday morning. Morgan State University has as its motto, growing the future and leading the world. We say to our students, you are that future, and the type of academic preparation that you get here at Morgan must enable you to embed yourself in innovation, to become the innovators of the future, and then to lead that world out there. And so we are absolutely delighted to be given an opportunity to say a word or two about this amazing institution and its ascendancy, and look forward to partnering with all of you. Thank you very much for having us, and have a great day.
Hi, I'm Aaron Tamarki with TradePoint Atlantic. We are very proud to be part of the Greater Baltimore region. Over the last 7 years, we have seen tremendous success as we have worked collectively to redevelop the former Sparrows Point steel mill into a global center for logistics and trade. Right here at the doorsteps of the Port of Baltimore, we are ideally positioned to re-envision what it means to provide 21st century logistics to our nation's commerce and industry. We are very thankful to be part of this great region because without you, we would not be as successful as we are today. So I want to take time to thank you all and to point out what we can do collectively when we pull together in the same direction with a shared vision. Amazing things that were thought to be impossible have been made possible. And Trade Point Atlantic stands as a testament to our region's commitment to do great things again. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Pieninck, President and CEO of CareFirst BlueCross BlueShield and Chairman of the Economic Alliance of Greater Baltimore. I'm honored to be joined by Calvin Butler, Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Exelon and the Chairman of the Greater Baltimore Committee. Calvin, it's always good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, Brian. It's good to be with you, man. It's always good to see you and look forward to our discussion today.
Yeah, it should be a great conversation. I know it's been a fantastic event so far. Our tour of Greater Baltimore opened by noting the incredible assets as well as some of the persistent challenges facing our region. You and I have spent a great deal of time talking about both, as well as our shared optimism for the future of Greater Baltimore. Having heard from many of our public and private sector leaders from across the region, I thought we'd close out this event by talking a bit about why we believe the future is bright for Greater Baltimore and what it might take to realize that best and that brightest future for this region and I think really beyond. So Calvin, what are some of your reflections on what you feel makes Greater Baltimore such a unique destination for business and development?
So for Brian, first, let me just say thank you. It's a wonderful question. And let me put it in context for you. I came to Baltimore in 2011, moved the family here in 2013, and immediately I fell in love with the city and the region for a couple of reasons. One, Baltimoreans are committed to their city. And I instantly felt that connection. People are so proud of their home. And then when I got to really understand and explore it, I recognized the high-grade, first-class medical institutions. Being from the Midwest, you hear about it, but you don't really know about it. And then, of course, you put in the public and private universities that are sitting here in this region to sit back and so you have a built-in intellectual capacity. And then you put that connection to the government on the research and development piece. So what I saw instantly was the creative juices that were created by this ecosystem that we have, the educating of young people, the retention of talent from the government perspective, and the private sector just waiting to tap into it.
Yeah.
So that's also what I saw is that what are we doing as a business to tap into that knowledge, retain that knowledge, and then help grow that ecosystem. So those are all the things that I said, okay, this is a place that we could live, raise our family. Well, they were grown at that point, but allow them to graduate and this be part of the fabric of this city and this region to be part of the catalyst to help it grow. So those are the things I saw then, and those are the things that still get me excited today about our future tomorrow.
Yeah, it resonates with me on a personal level. Our family came most recently in 2015 from Atlanta, but I'm from Philadelphia originally. And I tell people all the time, I love the sensibility of this town. It reminds me so much of where I grew up, the work ethic, the pride in who we are, the local sense of things, but also the possibility of what could potentially be bigger and better. I know another shared belief that you and I have is that there's an inextricable link between economic development, policy advocacy, and civics, and that it's critical we foster a symbiotic relationship between business and local community where investments and outcomes are inclusive and inure to the shared benefit of both. In that regard, what will progress look like for you? What do you want to see in the Baltimore region of the future?
I'm smiling, Brian, because I love the way you say that. And I think I could practice saying it just like you did 20 times and still mess it up. So I appreciate how you frame that thought. I'm going to be much more simplistic, but I'm going to get directly to that point, I hope. I'm in the energy business.
Yeah.
And our business is successful when we have a thriving economy. And a thriving economy consists of everyone moving forward, contributing to that cause, that bottom line. That means when I say everyone, every neighborhood, every community. I'm a big believer that you don't really get to a sustainable place of economic growth if you leave segments of our community behind. So therefore, my whole thrust goal is how do I get all corners of our community rising? And that is the economic prosperity that I see that can happen in our region, and how I approach business leaning into this effort. Business in the sense of workforce development, job creation. To me, that is the catalyst to economic development. Training our young people, not just for the jobs of today, but the jobs for tomorrow. Partnering with the educational institutions, from community colleges to four-year institutions, to say, what are the key jobs that you see on the horizon? Talking to businesses like yours, talking to the Whiting Turners of the world, talking to others and saying, where are you having a shortage of finding skilled labor? What are the jobs that you're trying to hire for, not today, but 5 years from now? That is where the business community can help serve as a catalyst. And if we are sitting around the table driving that conversation, people are making decisions without us. And that, to me, is where we have a disconnect and where we have an opportunity to have a bigger voice and to really drive change.
Yeah. It's incredibly well said, and you're known for someone who has persistent optimism, this constant drive forward, right? How do we consistently make progress? But I would say the other thing, and this is one of the things that I admire and respect about you, is this we mindset. That there's always room for collaboration. There's always room for partnership. There's always room to be in it, to do it, to accomplish it, and to benefit from it together. And I look forward to that. I look forward to partnering with you and continuing to partner with GBC and beyond, the partnership opportunities that exist between organizations like CareFirst and Exelon. I think we're just getting started, and I'm excited for what the future holds. So on behalf of the Economic Alliance of Greater Baltimore, I want to thank Calvin and each of the regional leaders who contributed their time and talent to this event, Michele and the staff who make our work possible, and all of our many contributors to the EAGB. For our visitors today, the Economic Alliance of Greater Baltimore welcomes your ideas, your leadership, and most importantly, your continued contribution to these critical efforts. I'm excited for what the future holds for Greater Baltimore. We look forward to partnering together to advance a vibrant, future-ready Greater Baltimore region.